What's up YouTube, it's your boy Mike here with PeoplesChoiceGaming, and today I have a full breakdown of the new primary weapon, the Tetra. Now if you guys checked out my first look video that I put out when this weapon first came out, you'll know that this weapon is pretty much like a mini Supra. And my first thoughts on it were, I might as well just use a Supra. Because this weapon does about the same damage as a Supra, however the Supra has twice the fire rate, and this weapon, still had a fairly bad accuracy and a pretty big spread, and I didn't really like that. But in the most recent hotfix, they increased the accuracy by more than double, and now this weapon has a really tight spread, and I can nail headshots from pretty far away, which is really important to me because I really like to go for headshots, and that's really important when you're going up against really high level enemies. And I can still shoot into a crowd if I wanted to just take multiple enemies out at once. Also, once I got it fully leveled, even without the speed trigger, or even without the amazing heavy caliber mod, and just a full speed trigger to, counter the lower fire rate, which is the only downfall of this weapon, I was able to take out pretty high level Grenier fairly easily, and that's when I realized I really do like this weapon. Now, comparing it to the Supra is going to, be a little stronger. It does have a really high fire rate. But what you have to understand is it's really awesome that they put this weapon out, because a lot of newer players want to be able to use some of the better weapons, and they can't because they take so many resources to make. They're so tough to make, like the Supra. And weapons like the Supra take a lot of forma and a lot of modding to really make them good. Whereas this weapon is really cheap to make, and the build I'm about to show you works really well on this weapon, even against higher level enemies, and it's fairly cheap to mod for the build that I'm going to show you guys, which is going to be really good for a lot of you newer players. And all them things combined, it's something really nice that they did, finally putting out a good weapon that wasn't out of the reaches of all the newer players. So like I said guys, it's a lot like the Supra with around the same damage, and even though it has half the fire rate and you're not going to have quite the DPS that the Supra has, this weapon has a lot nicer accuracy, which I love, so I can get them nice headshots, and for a lot of you newer people, it's a lot cheaper to make. Alright guys, let's go ahead and go over modding your Tetra at level 30 with a catalyst. Now when modding your Tetra, I would definitely start off with getting your serration and split chamber on to add a good bit of damage, and then follow up with a speed trigger for a great fire rate utility, because the fire rate's pretty low on this weapon, and a full speed trigger really helps out with your DPS on this weapon. And then I would wrap it up with your best elemental combo. We're going to use radiation for the toughest Grenier, like defense and survival missions, which is electricity and fire. Magnetic for corpus, which is electricity and ice. And then for your voids, since it's hard to really get everything on, since we don't have any polarities on our Tetra, I would maybe drop the fire utility, put on electric and poison for corrosive, so you get your big damage bonus against the Grenier, ancients, and the heavy gunners, and then put on the ice mod by itself, so that'll be good against the corpus and the shields, and then you'll be all around pretty set for the tier 3 voids. Now this weapon is really good. You're gonna be able to do pretty high level enemies with it, even with this build right here, without the amazing heavy caliber. You've seen in the gameplay I was still crushing pretty high level Grenier. I even went up to almost level 40 Grenier and still was killing bombards and napalms in seconds. So DPS wise, this is going to be the best way to mod your Tetra, for all the regular planets and all the mid to low level enemies, because you definitely want the fire rate increase, for your DPS. And then even for the higher level stuff, this is still going to be a really good build. Now for your more end game stuff, like maybe hour-long survivals, level 50 and 60 and up Grenier, that's when you're going to want to put a couple formas or more on the Tetra and start getting your extra damage on. And that is when you can go ahead and add the heavy caliber to just get a ridiculous amount of damage. And the accuracy loss won't be too bad, considering they increase the accuracy by a lot in this most recent hotfix, and you're still gonna have good accuracy with the heavy caliber, but you know, you're pretty much just going to be mowing the enemies down. You're not going to be able to really land them headshots. But another thing that's nice about this build here is without that heavy caliber, with having the default accuracy, you're going to be able to land headshots quite easily, which means on them tougher high-level Grenier, Napalms, and Bombards and stuff, you're going to be able to, you know, perform or land the headshots on them with ease from a pretty decent distance, which is really nice. And that's going to give you double damage, which is going to work out really, really well. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this weapon. It's pretty much like a mini Supra that's way cheaper to make, and with this amazing build right here, it's going to be really good for a lot of you newer players, because most of these mods here are pretty easy to get. Even the split chamber, that would be the toughest to get, is a lot easier than it used to be. And yeah, hope you guys are having fun with the new weapon. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to check out my Twitch, links in the description, and please follow. And I have all my new equipment in, like I said, so I will be streaming again soon, and I will put out a video to let you guys know when. Alright, catch y'all later. Peace.